Hello and welcome to The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and the glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, and let's kick off another episode. So it was only about 24 hours ago that Nintendo hosted their latest Nintendo Direct, a 45-minute long feature that showed a whole bunch of games coming from third parties, Nintendo themselves, indie developers, and a whole bunch more. We got to see the likes of Super Mario Odyssey, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, we got to see some Metroid, we got to see some Zelda, we got to see Kirby, a whole bunch more, and some others that I'll talk about more specifically in this episode. Check it out, because here we go, I'm going to discuss the 5 things that I saw and was most impressed by from this particular Nintendo Direct. First point for the day is about the 3DS lineup. Nintendo kind of got it out of the way first and foremost, but we saw a bunch of new titles, previously unannounced titles, and a little bit more information about some of the known commodities on the way. So we saw the likes of Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon. We saw some footage of Metroid Samus Returns, a game that's coming out this coming weekend. We saw a bunch of other bits and pieces, including Mario and Luigi, and a few more games in that regard. Pokemon Sun and Moon was obviously the headline act, but the one that I was most impressed by, / surprised to be impressed by, was the top 100 Mario Party levels. Essentially, this is a Mario Party game coming for the 3DS, where all games from the Mario Party back catalogue have been picked through with the best mini games all extracted and basically thrown into one perfect package coming to the 3DS. I don't recall there being a specific release date for this, but I was really quite stoked to be able to go back and play some of the best mini games of the Mario Party history. I dropped off probably after about Mario Party 4 or 5, and for all that there were some awesome games early on, mini games early on, I'm sure there's been some really awesome ones since, and I'd love to go and see some of those. The problem is in recent games there's been so many poor ones that it's been such a turn off. So getting to play in this particular package is a real plus, and I look forward to it. Second of all, and in my opinion, and I think the opinions of many, one of the most interesting and notable points from this particular Nintendo Direct was the Bethesda presence. We knew that Skyrim was coming to the Switch. We weren't sure whether it was going to be the special edition, whether it was going to be just the stock standard game, what particular cool or interesting Switch exclusive things they were doing with it. We got a little bit more information on that, but what was most important and most notable is the fact that both Doom, the awesome 2016 game, and the upcoming Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus, are both coming to the Switch. Now, there's been lots of questions from a lot of people, justifiably so, about could the big third-party games that are coming to PS4 and Xbox One and PC be able to play on the Switch? And the general consensus was that the Switch wasn't going to be powerful enough to be able to do it. Well, courtesy of Doom, Wolfenstein, Skyrim's an older game, so we'll discount that, but the likes of NBA 2K, FIFA 18, a lot of these third-party games coming from Bethesda, EA, and several more, the fact that they're all running on the Switch is a really promising sign if you're the sort of person who likes to be able to play these AAA games as well as your exclusives. It does mean that maybe the Switch version of, say, Wolfenstein 2 is a bit more appealing to you because of the fact that you can take the game with you on the road versus picking it up on your PS4 or Xbox or PC, where you're kind of rooted to a seat and have to play it from there. There's some cool things going on, and it perhaps opens the door up to more third parties climbing aboard in the future, and I really, really look forward to it. The third point for discussion today is about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, there's been murky confusion over in the journey because we've had Xenoblade Chronicles, a game that came to the Wii originally, got ported to the 3DS. Then we saw Xenoblade Chronicles X, which came to the Wii U. I personally thought that was the second game until it was revealed that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is in fact Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's been a real mess. Well, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, since I've been confirmed that it is in fact the second game in the franchise and the X was kind of a spin-off, has been getting a ton of new information courtesy of this Nintendo Direct. I personally was overwhelmed by the amount they threw at me. The game looks brilliant. I've been super keen to play it for a while. There was a lot of narrative related stuff that was thrown at me about all the different kind of factions within the world. That in the space of about a 5 or 6 minute long presentation really mostly sailed over my head. It was a bit overwhelming there. I'm going to have to go back, watch it a few times and try and learn as much as I can. But the combat itself looked fantastic. The world looks beautiful. The artistry is gorgeous. There's so many cool things going on with this game. And if you are interested in big open world RPGs, and there's a lot of you who are, December 1st is the release date. It's coming this year. It was something I was beginning to doubt given how close we were to the end of the year. Nintendo had promised it was coming before the end of the year. It didn't seem like it was going to get there. It is going to get there. December 1st, get around it, pick it up. It's going to be great.
And now it's past my bedtime. Your journey through the clouds begins when Xenoblade Chronicles 2 launches on Nintendo Switch December the 1st. The world of all rest is waiting for you.
So Project Octopath Traveler, an upcoming Square Enix game that has one of the most ridiculous names in the world and hopefully only remains a code name, looks gorgeous. It was revealed months ago during the Nintendo Switch kind of premiere debut sort of event, the unveiling, I guess, and looked really promising. The name made everyone laugh. There's so many reaction videos out there on YouTube of people kind of scoffing at the stupidity of the name, but the game itself looked gorgeous, and today we got a whole bunch more footage and information about the game. Be sure to check that out, but what is most important, especially if you're already an owner of the Switch, is the fact that the demo is now available courtesy of the eShop. Make sure to pick it up. It's obviously not going to cost you anything. It is only a free demo. And look into it, because if you're an RPG fan, specifically JRPGs, but if you're a fan of RPGs and you like the look of what you're seeing in this game, you got a chance to render a verdict nice and early. See if the game's for you. It's coming in 2018.
Embark on an adventure all your own. Project Octopath Traveler.
The fifth and final point for today is of course about Super Mario Odyssey. Again, I've spoken about this game already in previous episodes. I'm in love with this game. They showed off a bunch more footage in about a 7-minute long kind of portion dedicated to it, a spotlight dedicated to it. We saw some new worlds. We saw Mario nipples for the first time in a really weird sort of scenario that seemed to have generated a few memes on the internet. Mario's nipples. But we've seen new worlds, we've seen new environments, we've seen new kind of ways to use Cappy in effective and clever ways. We've seen a whole bunch of footage. The game looks gorgeous. We've got a special collector's edition console that's been revealed. Separate Joy-Cons if that's what you want. I'll be getting those. There's an awesome, beautiful looking carry case for your Switch. So if you don't have a way to be able to safely transport your Switch around, maybe consider that. It looks great. And all those things are coming October 27th. We learned a little bit more about the Amiibo functionality. I won't spoil that. Go and check it out. Super Mario Odyssey, despite the fact that it is coming out in a year that contains Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and just countless other incredible games, despite how amazing those games are, from what I'm seeing, it still could potentially be a Game of the Year winner. And that says a hell of a lot given its competition. Super Mario Odyssey is a massive return to form for those 3D Mario games. Please consider it. October 27th. It's coming. It's looking great. Get around it. So this Nintendo Direct did some incredible things. There's the 5 points that I've already spoken about. We also saw a bunch more Fire Emblem Warriors. We saw new Kirby stuff. We heard about Rocket League. That was a bit disappointing because we still don't have a formal release date. We just know that it's coming before the end of this year. There's a whole bunch of other awesome games. We learned a bit more about Lost Sphere. We saw some LA Noire footage. There was a whole bunch of really awesome things that have been revealed there. And what it indicates is the fact that the Switch has got some legs behind it. Nintendo has done a lot of the heavy lifting early on with basically a AAA Nintendo first-party game coming out per month. And now it seems as though the third parties are climbing aboard, as well as the indies, and they're doing an incredible job of supporting this thing between big Nintendo tentpole releases. We don't have any formal release dates for any big Nintendo first-party games on the Switch for the first few months of 2018. We know there's games like Kirby and Yoshi, Metroid, Pokemon. These games are all on the way. But we don't have formal release dates for those yet. And it seems as though Nintendo's going to rely quite heavily on the likes of Wolfenstein, Doom, Lost Sphere, Project Octopath Traveler, and several more to really kind of engage players and keep that steady stream of titles coming out over the coming months. And from all the sales numbers to this point, it seems like those games, the indies, they're already successful. So Nintendo is building a really vibrant community. Third parties are feeling like it's worthwhile climbing aboard. The Switch is in a really good place. The 3DS is looking pretty good with the games that are still coming. Nintendo's kind of firing on all cylinders at the moment, and it's a great time to be a Nintendo fan. So, that's another episode of The Insider in the books. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel where you can catch up with weekly episodes of The Insider, as well as Patched, the Video Games Club, weekly Player 2 Plays videos. We might even be going to multiple episodes a week, and what's going to be quite cool as we build out our schedule. Make sure to visit player2.net.au, the website itself, where you can catch up with all the awesome written content. We've just had a week-long feature of Destiny 2 related content. Of course, there's reviews and previews and other opinion pieces. There's so many really, really cool things that are going on the site. It's worthwhile climbing aboard because we've got some great talent at the team, and it's really worthwhile seeing what they've got to say. In the meantime, please make sure to catch up with the daily goings-on courtesy of the Player2AU, and that's the Twitter handle. Make sure to visit the Twitter account, Player2AU, where you can catch up with just kind of rolling updates from the site. Make sure to visit mine, Paul James P2. And until next week, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.